welcome to my channel. If you watch my intro, thank you, and if you did subscribe, thank you. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. So today's video is about being a good parent, and the answer is that there's no such thing as being a good parent, because being a good parent is not something that you can just learn, and when you learn it, you've known it. So you cannot really like put it in a way that you say, oh yeah, I've known everything that needs to be known to be a good parent. Because if you say that, I'll doubt the fact that you really understand what you're talking about, because parenting is not something you know for a day. There's something you know for a lifetime. So in other words, every day of your life as a child grows, as you live on earth, you're learning to be a good parent. So there's not a final full stop of being that perfect parent, that 100% know-it-all parent. No, because every day as a child grows, you're learning. So this is just my own opinion. If you have a better opinion for what I'm saying, no hard feelings, drop your comment below. I'm a mom. I've got 4 kids. And every time people be like, how do you do it? Precious, how do you do it? 4 children, it's not easy. How do you do it? I'm like, it's not like I've got a manual or a dictionary or something that I listed on how to be a better mom or a better parent to my kids. It just gets by. As day comes, we rugged it. Tomorrow, we rugged it. The next day, we rugged it. That's how parenting is. So it's just like a routine. But you just need to get yourself checked every now and then, because the person who has to be checked the most is you, the parent. So we just have children, we just think, oh, the kids are the ones we need to put in place. The kids are the ones we need to put in order. We need to teach the right things and all of that. That's good, but don't be on that race and forget the fact that you are also running. As the children you've got, as your kids are growing up, going through the race of life, you are racing as well. So don't forget that. And then you start to think that, oh no, you are standing still. Or maybe you are not racing at the same time. You are. Because you're growing up, you're growing older. So having to be a good parent is not something you're like, oh, I've known it, that's it, that's enough. Because if that is what it is to be a good parent, to be, I guess when you become a grandparent, you go online and search how to be a good grandma. No, because the way you raise your children is how you're going to also raise your grandchildren. And the things your children get to learn from you raising them is how they are going to raise their own children. So I guess what I'm saying is, before you decide to become a parent, you need to first of all ask yourself this question: am I ready to be a parent? And if your answer is yes, and then you go ahead, after the child comes, you'll be like, oh, I never knew it was this hard. Did anyone tell you it's going to be bed of roses? That is why you need to do a self-check first and foremost. You need to make sure that you are prepared. You need to be sure that you are mentally, physically, emotionally ready to be a parent. You need to be prepared in order for you not to lose it. Because kids, they're not funny to raise. They're not as easy as reading a book or watching a TV. Just when you thought that, oh yes, I understand this child, they just come up with something else. So that's why you need to be mentally prepared, so you don't lose it. So you don't become the one the child will be parenting. Because I've seen cases where some parents just lose it and the children start to parent them the other way around. And then when I say that you need to be physically prepared, it means that you need to be strong. You need to be firm. Not when I mean firm, I'm not telling you to abuse your kids like firm or like physical. Well, don't get that. You need to be firm enough to be able to stand whatsoever that being a parent throws at you. You need to be firm, because sometimes being a parent becomes so hard in a way, or becomes so difficult, or some of us just lack the knowledge of how to be a parent. And then when all those things start to fall on us, we just fall all the way to the ground. And when I say you need to be prepared emotionally, he's having to always, no matter what, wear that smile face. Because sometimes we just break out and start to weep, start to cry. And even in the presence of the kids, you're crying. And the child will be like, why are you crying? And you're like, I don't just know. I don't just know. And then the baby will be like, or the child will be like, don't cry, mommy. That is it. That's what they're going to tell you. Don't cry, mommy. And you can go on about telling them, oh, the reason why you're so emotional is because you're making your parenting hard. Because you just say it, it's going to be like a music in your ear, and they'll come again, oh, sorry, mommy. That's what they've got for you. Don't cry, mommy, or sorry, mommy. So that is why you need to wear that smiling face. Be happy. Try to look for things that will make you happy. If it's reading book or watching TV, or you go a hobby, and you go a hobby, you know those kind of hobbies that you can proudly talk about in the public. That's the one I'm talking about. So you look for something that will take your time off all of the stress or the thinking. Try to get a hobby for yourself, or maybe go reading book, watch TV, or whatever you like to do in order for you to get yourself. Go out with friends, making sure you have someone to look after your children. Don't neglect your kids for your phone. You have to be a provision for them first and foremost. Being a parent, that is what you need to give your children all your all. And then be ready to take all of their nonsense. That is what being a parent is all about. Raising a child is like having a sheep. And then when you have a crops, like you have something, let's say you have a farm, and the sheep comes to eat your crops. And then you say, shoo, sheep. And you keep pursuing the sheep. If you pursue the sheep 100 times, the sheep is going to come back 100 times. In other words, they ain't got no clue. So especially when you're young, no matter how you shout, no matter how you scream, no matter the instructions you put, they're still going to make that mistake again. They're still going to come back to that place that they're not to go to. They're going to touch that thing you say don't touch. They're going to spill the water you say don't spill. If you tell them don't spill it in the living room, they'll go spill it in the bedroom. If you tell them don't spill the water, you get one. You get it. So that's what being a child is, especially when you're young. So they just start to get this clue. The older they get, the more they start to understand not to do things wrong or not to piss you off. But you know one thing, all of this discipline, like advising them, giving them instructions, like, oh, don't do this and do that. Because they're young, they won't just get it out all at once. But as they grow, they start to understand, oh, why mommy say don't spill water on the floor? Oh, why mommy say do this? Why mommy say do that? Or why daddy say don't do this or that? So please, do not give up. Do not go running away from it. Do not go running and leaving your child behind because parenting did not turn out to be as easy as you want. As easy. Do not go running, leaving your child behind for somebody else to raise for you because parenting did not turn out to be what you imagine it to be. Do not go leaving your marriage because having to raise your children and raise your husband at the same time. It's not as easy as you thought. So that goes to the fathers as well. Do not go running away, leaving your children with your wife, or running away from your marriage or your home because having to raise kids is not as easy as you thought it's going to be. Do not let your parenting affect your children's existence on earth. Because there is no child on this earth that is unfortunate. There is no child on this earth that is a mistake. There is no child on this earth that came at the wrong time. There's no child that is unfortunate. There isn't. So don't make them feel like one. So that is it. That is what I understand. By being a parent, the first thing you need to do is first of all, check yourself. Work on yourself. Don't lose it. Don't lose guard. It's having to use your brain logically. You need to be able to come in every angle. When a child is trying to be like, oh, I'm smarter than you, I can just walk my way around anything. You have to come back in, in a very skillful way. Parents, you need to be skillful when it comes to your children. Even if you have to come up with a story in order for you to put them in place, do that. Whatever works, as long as you don't have to beat them, abuse them, starve them, because you'll be surprised what you see on the news today. As long as it's none of those. Just try whatever it is that works for you to be a good parent. Alright. So that's it for today's video. So that is why I'm saying that I've just spoken from my own point of view. So if you have a better option, a better answer, or your own experience of being a mother, or one thing that your kids do that pisses you off, you can help but love them anyway. Put it down below. Because if I want to go on and on with my kids, do and ways, we won't leave this video. So put it below. So being a parent is a wonderful thing. For me, the best thing that have ever happened to me is having to be a mother. You get it? Because I was once a child. But once I was growing up, I didn't grow up with my parents. So I grew up in negligent. So the reason why my parent decided to choose himself over me, I don't know. That was their wrong. And I'm doing right by my children. So thank you for watching my video, and please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I tell you, this channel is going to be so fun as the day goes by. And all of that determine your support. For more topics to come up, you have to comment, please. You have to. I don't want to be the only one bringing all this talk. So whatever you want us to discuss about, just write it below.